everybody, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports, where, you might have guessed it, we go over everything that's happened this week during a train wreck of Philadelphia sports. Someone's got to do it, alright? Firstly, I just want to apologise for the next 15 minutes or so, because they're probably going to bring back some trauma, and it's probably gonna suck, because I don't know what's happened to this Philadelphia Eagles team. I don't know what the reason is, and I've recorded a podcast, I've written 3 articles today, and I've sat here trying to acclimatise myself, trying to work out why this team is about as successful as the American adaptation of the In-Betweeners. Like, I physically do not understand it. But the one thing I do understand, and I know this show is normally full of jokes and it's ha-ha and it's funny, is that I'm pretty sure Doug Peterson has been kidnapped and replaced by a reptilian alien of the Illuminati. That's the only explanation for what we're seeing right now. And this has been brewing for quite some time, right? Let's give you a timeline here. Go back to the start of the offseason and you see Doug Peterson guarantee the futures of Mike Groh and Carson Wentz. He's like, jobs for life, baby. They're going absolutely nowhere. See you boys next week, yeah? Alright, take... What's that? I've just told him they'll stay. Jeff, that... Didn't go down so well. Then they drafted another quarterback after finally getting through the off-season noise and the anonymous sources and Carson Wentz winning the locker room. Probably not the easiest thing to facilitate. Then, instead of an offensive coordinator, you get Marty Moninreg, Rich Scangarello, Andrew Briner, your local butcher, an accountant from Delaware, and a social media influencer from Los Angeles, all together to make one group of too many voices, all screaming at once. And how I imagine the Eagles' offensive coordinator room looking is a little something like this. And then the team get off to a wobbly start. Carson Wentz doesn't look like himself at all. Been through this in a film room last week where it's clearly fundamental issues. He's not a bad quarterback, but there are some old habits which are beginning to creep back up the coaching staff need to iron out. That's fine. It's not the end of the world, okay? Yes, it's terrifying. Yes, it sucks. And yes, he should be better. But it's not all doom and gloom, right? Like, it could be Mitch Trubisky here, who has fundamental flaws and is terrible. So, instead of approaching this in a positive manner, Doug Peterson walked into a press conference last week with a face like a smacked ass. And when Jimmy Kempski questions him on Carson Wentz's success, he just says, "Have you ever played quarterback in the NFL?" But builders fit in something and you go to them, "How long are you going to be, mate?" And they go, "Have you ever fitted a light bulb before?" It's just like, obviously not, but I'm asking you how long you're going to be because I want to know, because it affects my job. Like, I don't understand that response. And then there was a report saying Doug Peterson has reached his limit. Now, I don't know what limit that is, but I'm pretty sure he might be reaching his limit of sanity at this point. And if he was going to be a pop punk album, he'd probably be Tickets to My Downfall by Machine Gun Kelly, because it's all going horrifically wrong. The play calling has sucked recently. It's not been great. It looks like there is just no identity to this offense. And then, to put the icing on an absolute poop sandwich, the Eagles sneak into overtime. Carson Wentz puts the team on his back. And before I get to this segment, I want to applaud Carson Wentz, because yes, he's been terrible. Yes, he's been inaccurate. He's about as accurate as I am in the DMs, alright? Same sort of efficiency level. And he has chained this offense down, but when it mattered most, he put the group on his back, realised I can't get it done through the air, I might be struggling, so I'm going to rush it 9 times against the run defense that is terrible. Doug Peterson, 65 yards and a touchdown with just seconds to go. I love that from Wentz. Fair play to him for realising the weakness of the defense, putting the onus on his own shoulders and getting it done. Unlike Peterson, Sanders was averaging 5 yards per carry, decided to go, nah. You know what we need? Screen passes, mate. Bloody loads of, get them in. Screen it now. Go on. Overtime. 59 yards out. Everything's fine. Jake Elliott trots out, 19 seconds to go to win the game. Matt Pryor jumps offside. Minor quibble. It's now 4th and 17 from the 64-yard line. Now bear in mind, Jake Elliott had hit a 61-yard game winner against the Giants. He is a 54-yarder in that very game. Like, just about an hour before, he hit a 54-yard field goal and Doug Peterson goes, "Cammy whammy, get out there and punt that ball." And the rest of the team are just, what is that? I'm sorry, but who are you? Like, who are you? Where is the Doug Peterson who went for it on 4th and 3 in the Super Bowl? Where is the most aggressive coach in football? Where is Mr. 2-point conversion in the 4th quarter? Where is the man who had unwavering faith in his quarterback, unwavering faith in his offense, unwavering faith in his defense? He's gone. Like, instead, he's scared of a Bengals team that got a total of 25 yards in overtime. I don't get it. They couldn't run the ball. He's scared of Joe Burrow, who got hit 18 times and sacked 8. And didn't kick the... I don't understand it. And the worst part is, somewhere in that brain, in that moment, Doug Peterson looked at that decision, thought, we'll take the tie. We'll take the tie. We will take the tie. In a sport, okay, where it is designed to force a winner and a loser barring an exceptional circumstance, he opted for a tie. Like, that will matter when the team are 3-12-1. Like, what does a tie against a team who had the #1 overall pick, who have a terrible defense, who are going nowhere, what does that mean to anyone? You may as well have lost. Go out with a bang. Go out all guns swinging. Go out with saying, hey, we tried it, we failed. Don't be scared to shoot your shot, Doug. What good does a tie do this football team? At what point in Doug Peterson's head he stand on that sideline that a tie is more valuable than an aggressive shot to win? A tie! An actual tie, like a physical draw. This isn't soccer where you can win, lose or draw. This is designed winners, losers. You've got 16 games. Ties mean nothing in the NFL. They're about as useful as a cloth in a flash flood. It's disgusting. And now Peterson going out and saying we're going to simplify the offense for Wentz. It's too little too late. The offense is dead. I just don't understand what's going on. I know I've ranted about this for too long now. I'm going to talk a lot more in the coming days about this Eagles team. Nate Gary and whatever the hell he was doing. Instead of talking about it, I'm just going to roll this. And what comes next for this team. So stay locked in. There's a lot of content coming this week. On to some positive news. So the Philadelphia Union remain the most successful sports team in Philadelphia right now, beating Inter Miami in a lovely case of curb your enthusiasm, because Miami were very confident with their new signing of Gonzalo Higuain. That went well. 0 win over Inter Miami. You love to see it. And even Brendan Aronson got on the scoreboard. The wonder kid who's likely going to Red Bull Salzburg of the Bundesliga. Just the latest PA product to go off to Germany and do big things. So I'm going to miss you, kiddo. I'm going to miss you. Philadelphia Flyers are also in a positive spot right now. They made 2 big moves this past week with Alex Lyon and Bobby Haig both signing new contracts. Now, Haig's the more important one here. It does probably mean that Shane Gostisbehere is on the trade block, and that report actually came out just before he was signed on Monday. But Haig had a really good run for the Flyers this year. It's been his 4th season with the team, and he just played that almost enforcer-type role with that physical defenseman, leading the team in hits, getting a few assists in the playoffs as well. He was just relentless from start to finish, and when you look at the 2-way defenseman the Flyers have, he fits that third line perfectly. He's only 25. There's a lot of room to grow, and it just made so much sense to bring the Swedish defenseman back on a lovely, cheap deal where he's going to continue to literally punch in the efficiency for the Flyers. On a wholesome note, Chris Stewart retired from professional hockey, and a day later signs as a player development coach. You love to see it. Like, what a vibe. The Phillies, we have to mention him, don't we? We have to mention him. They decided to choke the playoffs despite they lost by 1 game of getting into a wildcard spot, and in a shortened season, their final 8 games where they needed 2-3 wins at a push to be safe went 1-7. 1-7. 1-7. The bullpen is an actual mess. I don't know what's... I mean, there is something in the water in Philadelphia. There must be. I've got no idea what's going on down there right now. And in a year where the bats were so productive, where the offense heated up, the defense and the pitching was just so dreadful. I don't know, like, Clentak's already on the ropes. My head hurts just thinking about it. This is going to be a bumpy offseason for a team that had the 7th highest payroll in the league. And the Sixers, bit of minor news, they might be hiring Doc Rivers as a coach. Doc Rivers was recently fired by the LA Clippers, which is interesting because naturally he's going to be associated with the team, which is fine. Although he hasn't made the NBA Finals since 2010 and has just choked a 3-1 lead with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. So, do you really want Doc Rivers as a coach? Probably not. But that just about does it for another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I know it has been an absolute tragedy this past week in Philadelphia sports, but I want to know your thoughts. From myself, Liam Jenkins, you can follow me on Twitter at LiamJenkinsPSN. We'll see you soon.